That barn was the original barn built in 1872.
All notched or pegged with walnut.
There's no nails in it. It's all the boards are put together with walnut pegs. Another view of the barn. Notice in the background there, that is the original house. It's brought in, or built by lumber that was brought in. Right across the road, and it goes right behind Wayne's house. You can hear it in the night when you're trying to get some sleep. It kind of rumbles a little bit. After it leaves this right across the street here, it curves right behind Wayne's house.
Charles Rogler started this house in 1872 using lumber brought in by wagon from Leavenworth, 150 miles away. It was originally located closer to the road where the large house now sits. Though currently vacant, it is still maintained and used at times.
The wind charger that is on the property, with wires coming from it, I'm not so sure if it isn't still in working order. But where it comes from, this is now the site of the second house. This, I believe, is where the first house sat before it was moved to its present location. This is the back side. There, it looks like appears to be a well. It's covered over. It's just got one little hole in the top. Kids would say they used to scare them when they used to yell down there because of the echo. Probably the most important on the place. That's that one of the little house behind the big house. Two-holer, I presume. House used to be the chicken coop. Right now they've got it filled with lumber. This must be where the egg money came from that George talked about, that his mother used to give him from time to time as an allowance. Side view of the house and its present location. Right now it is in ill repair, but you can see that it could have been a fairly nice house at one time. View of the front of the house. In front is a large yard and the road going through to Mattville Green.
In the front yard is the sole survivor of 16 cottonwood trees planted by Charles Rogler between 1866 and 1872, each one named for a president. This large tree is known as the Abe Lincoln tree. Native limestone fence or wall which parallels the road for 1 mile was built in the 1870s for $1 per rod. This provided winter work for the neighbor men.
This is the entrance to the farm. Over in the left, which is north of the house, is a pasture that they used to keep cattle and horses in. Notice the stone fence comes right up to the entrance. These logs, sitting on shorter logs, lines the entranceway all the way to the house or to the back of the house.
Replica of what Charles Rogler's cabin must have looked like. This cabin was relocated here by Wayne Rogler. Through the windows you can see some articles from days gone by.
Is a stone, could be a wheel or something, that sits out in front of the cabin. Sharpening machine. These were trunks of trees that they've cut out, and they put them out in the pasture and put salt in them. These are salt licks for the cattle. Cream separator inside the cabin. Looks like a coffee grinder. An old clock. Three old lamps inside. It's this bed came on a covered wagon. It was transferred here from the original. There's a bathtub. One of it was convenient. Looks like the type of kettle that would go over the top of in a fireplace, the one that would swing in.
In 1875 and on the Rogler place for 60 years.
Looks like a butter churn. This is called Crocker Creek. Got sucked in and went through that tube. I can't believe he went through that little tiny tube. Out the other side. Just a couple pipes that go across the road. Place from across the road. Right now it's filled in with trees so much, so there's not a whole lot that you can see. There's a farmhouse there, but nothing else. It's a paved highway in front of it. Just a view of the type of terrain that surrounds this. These are called the Flint Lock, or the Flint Hills, I think. Flint Hills. Joan didn't know why they got that name. This sign hangs right in front of his entrance to his ranch. To his ranch as you come off the highway. It says Grasslands USA on the top there. You'll notice a fence made out of old trees. View of the front of Wayne's house from across the road. This is the front entrance. This sits out in front of his, or beside his house. Looks like the root of a tree there. View of the back of the house. Notice again the stone fence surrounding it. It's like the view of a cow or a bull. Sits on a pedestal out in his backyard beside one of the garages. Looks like one of the grills that they use for a cookout. And there's another one. Little windmill that sits behind their house. Looks like it's made to scale. Just decorative, no functional use. This is where you can tie up your horse if you have a need to. This is at their back door of their place. Garage is over there for automobiles. Just a view of the backyard of Wayne's place. Some of the buildings that he has, garages, so forth. Here's a loading chute that comes out of the corrals in the back. You can see some of his cattle in the back. They usually keep about 300 to 320 head and build up their herd to about 1,000 before they sell. They will take in other cattle from other people and feed them during the wintertime. Lean-to. Notice again it's made out of brick or rock. Same thing that the fences are made out of. Just a couple corrals for holding. Pasture land in the back with a few of the head of cattle that are here. The line there to the left, that's the railroad tracks. That's where the train goes. And you can also see an elevator in the background there. That's across the railroad tracks from Wayne's property. Again, a couple of the corrals and holding pens that you see on this ranch. This sits in his backyard on the lawn. He had some rocks brought in. Wayne thought he probably wanted a little park or little rock garden. The back of Wayne's house. There's more doors in this than any place I've ever seen. There's a breezeway. They used to sit there. And a garage for a couple automobiles. There's an old crutch. I think I'd be more careful about breaking my leg if that's what I had to use for a crutch. It's a yoke. Old style rake. Here's the dinner bell. Just had it refurbished, sandblasted and finished off. This is the front of Wayne's house.